I am your host, Morgan Trine from Honestly Bookkeeping. Since today is the first episode of Follow the Bookkeeper, I wanted to start by setting expectations. One of the things that bothers me a lot is whenever I start a new service or resource and expectations aren't set. So that's where the breeding grounds for discontent begins. So I wanted to let you know what you can expect from this production. Now, that's not to say that things won't change. Whenever you start out on something new, even the best laid plans just are going to change based on what it's like when you actually put it into practice. So know that what I'm about to say may change in the future, probably will in some way or another, but that the intent right now is what I'm about to describe in terms of the sort of three pillars that Follow the Bookkeeper is going to cover. So the first thing that Follow the Bookkeeper is going to cover is this is going to give you a behind the scenes peek into both Honestly Bookkeeping, my firm, and then also into the broader accounting industry in general. One of the things that I really see in the conversations with our clients is that there's this lack of transparency between business owners and the bookkeeping and accounting industry. And so a lot of discontent, a lot of confusion, a lot of lack of empowerment really comes from that opaque communication between business owners and the accounting industry. And so Follow the Bookkeeper, that first pillar, is going to give you a behind the scenes of what's going on. One of the questions I get a ton is why can't I find a good tax preparer? There's actually a whole bunch going on in the background of the accounting industry that answers that question, but business owners are so frequently left in the dark of why is that? And so this first pillar is going to give you that behind the scenes look of this is what's going on. Here's the context for some of these struggles or questions or issues that are popping up as you run your business. So that's going to be the first pillar, is that behind the scenes. And why can I talk about that? Who am I? So my name is Morgan Trine. I am the owner and founder of Honestly Bookkeeping, which is a boutique bookkeeping firm. We mainly work with business owners who own a portfolio of businesses, and we help them by stabilizing, strengthening, and creating sustaining financial systems. So what this means is we're balancing finding that balance between spending a gazillion dollars on a whole bunch of different tech and SaaS services with spending a whole bunch of hours manually importing and inputting data, and finding where that balance is for each organization that we work with. And then furthermore, what we're doing is creating workflows with all of our clients so that everybody who touches money in the business, whether you're the business owner, whether you have employees or contractors, however that's set up in however many configurations, everybody who has some sort of touch point with the money knows how to communicate that information within the whole system so that everybody has the information that they need to in order to do their part of the job in terms of managing the finances of an entity. And so that's why we find business owners that own multiple entities tend to really like working with us. But we also work with a number of businesses that have operations in a way that sort of has that multiple streams, in the same way that someone who has multiple entities has multiple operational considerations going on. And we still work with business owners that just have the one business. But we find that the maximum benefit is really when you have that multiple entity or multiple operational segments going on in your business. And so in that way, we work with a really wide range of industries. So we have service-based solopreneurs, we have large manufacturers, we have nonprofits. It really runs the gamut in terms of industries and size of our clients. And so as I'm talking about all of this behind the scenes information and all of these other pillars of this production, my context is from working with small business owners in this range of industries, service offering types, and operational considerations. And so that gives a really broad background for the types of things that I'm going to be able to bring up in this production. And so that's the context that I'm coming to follow the bookkeeper with. So the second pillar is a soapbox. This is my production, and I get to have a soapbox. And so what this means is this is going to be a pillar where I get to talk about, like, here's the things in the accounting industry that are bothersome or are really great. Here's the things in business practices that like make working with a bookkeeper really hard. And as business owners, we need you to stop doing. It can also be like, here's things that I love that some of my clients do, and it makes it great. And like, this makes working with them so easy. So it's going to be the soapbox where I get to say like, hey, this isn't great. This is great. And you can, again, sort of get that behind the scenes of like, what does it really mean to work with a bookkeeping firm? And like, what are the things that really matter in the end? And then the third pillar is going to be really practical how-tos. So this is going to be like tactical, applicable. This is how you reconcile your bank accounts. This is how you think about this part of the bookkeeping process. This is the best way that you can communicate information with your bookkeeping team. And so in this way, it's not just going to be for people who do their own bookkeeping, but if you already work with a bookkeeper or a bookkeeping firm, what are the things that you need to be thinking about to make that process easy and smooth? And so in that way, this production isn't going to be just about, okay, I'm a solopreneur and I'm doing my own bookkeeping, tell me all the things. You'll still get benefit if that's your situation. But this is also going to talk about what are the things you need to think about if you have someone else doing your bookkeeping, whether that's an outsourced firm or an in-house bookkeeper. What are those things I need to be thinking about to make all of this easy and to be able to get the information I need to be able to make the decisions I need to be able to decide about. And so all of this, so these three pillars, right? Behind the scenes, the soapbox, and the how-to is also going to be a dialogue. I'm not going to be sitting up here on high going like, this is how it has to be. There's going to be some things that are like that, just like this is how it has to be because that's the law. But I want this to be a dialogue. I want this to be a back and forth between me and you. And so if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you're like, hey, I don't know about this thing, please let me know, because I want this production to be the most helpful and beneficial to you. And I have some really good ideas and thoughts and things that I know based on just my years of experience. But what's troubling you right now, or what's working for you right now, and let me know so that I can create these episodes to be the most beneficial to you as they possibly can. And then lastly, if you find this helpful, please share it on whatever platform or method that you like, or that you found this production on. Please share it with someone that you think would also find this beneficial. Until next time, I'm Morgan Trine, and this is Follow the Bookkeeper.